back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a skin tone tutorial. I'm going to be using the Dark Fantasy Special from Colouring Haven by Enis Guerrero. The page I'm going to use is this one, just because it's more face on and easier to show you where I'm going to be adding the highlights. I'm just going to bring you in a little bit closer. I'm going to be doing most of this with the Arteza colouring pencils. The colours I'm using are in the 72 set, I believe it is, as well as the 120. I'm going to be using Peaches and Cream, Burnt Ochre and Sienna Brown. I am going to substitute the cream from the Arteza set with a Derwent Colour Soft cream, only because I prefer this for my base. So yeah, I'm just going to get straight in with it and show you guys how I colour skin. I'm going to obviously take the cream first, and I'm just going to shade the whole face with a colour of cream, just so I've got a base layer down to work with. I'm not being like any kind of like specific way of colouring. It's just a rough undercoat to get me started. I do apologise for the scratchiness of this pencil as well. It's quite almost chalky. I do apologise if my hand gets in the way a lot as well. So now I've got a base layer down. I'm going to take the Peaches and Cream. I'm just going to start highlighting where I want all of the shades and where I want my lighter areas to be. Usually there's quite a lot of shading in the corner of the eyes. Just going to shade underneath where her hair is as well. A lot of people tend to do it dark to light, but I actually find it easier going from light to dark. Just going to bring a bit of shadowing around her cheeks as well. And under her lip. So I hope you can all see what I'm doing. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more. So I started to add all of the shadows around her nose area and her cheek. And once you start building up to the darker colours, you'll be able to see it a lot more as it gets defined. Just going to shade under her nose. Now I'm going to come in and do the other side. She doesn't have as much hair this side, so this will be the lighter side. I also find if you use sort of curved strokes on the face instead of just colouring or scumbling, it adds more shape to the picture. Just going to bring in her cheekbone shading. And start working on the other side of her nose now. And I'm going to pull out from the corner of her eye just towards her cheek. Always find if you're wanting to colour skin tones, it's easier to practice on a grayscale picture than it is just a line art picture, because you get more help with where the shadows will be on the face. So if you're starting out, it's an easy way to learn. Just going to start shading underneath her fringe now. do the tip of her nose. Just going to define her nose a little bit more. Right, and that's the second colour. Now I'm going to take the burnt ochre and I'm going to start darkening the areas where I've just shaded. I'm not really using hard pressure either, just a really light touch. If you find you get some harsh lines as well, you can always use a blender pencil just to blend it out, or your lightest colour will work as well. And once you start adding the darker tones, as you can see, it starts adding more shape to the face. quite easy to colour skin as well. Once you get the hang of where the shadows will be, it usually doesn't take all that long to colour afterwards. Just going to erase this little line here and bring it up a little bit just so it matches the other side. I want to try and keep this side of her face lighter because obviously she's got more hair coming down this side of the face. I'm just going to go and shade the top part as well, just under her eyebrows and her hair. Now, before I go on to the darkest colour, I'm going to go back in with the peaches and cream, and I'm just going to smooth out any harsh lines from the darker shade. I'm also going to go back in on the sides of her nose and just use the peaches and cream to add a bit more mid-tone to it, so it's not so light on the nose. Just like that, and now I'm going to go in with the darkest colour. This colour I'm not really going to use as much, purely because you don't really need a lot of dark in this skin tone palette that I'm using. I'm just going to go round the areas where her hair is, just over her skin, just to add a bit of shadow, and then maybe on the corner of her eyes, because obviously this side of her face is darker, so she's going to have more darker tones. Just going to do a little bit on this side as well. And then under her fringe. I'm not going to go all the way across under the fringe, just because if she's looking face on and the light source is coming towards her face, it's only going to be the corners where she'll have darker areas. Just going to add a little bit underneath her nose as well, and just on the corners. I'm just going to go back in with the cream, and I'm just going to lighten up the areas that I wanted to keep highlighted. And that's it. And that's how I like to colour my skin. I do also use the Faber-Castell polychromos quite a lot, as I prefer them for skin tones, as you get more of a variety of colours. But yeah, I hope that helped, and if you would like to see me do another tutorial but with the polys, I'd be happy to do so. But I will leave it there, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!